Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Logan, and today I'm going to be taking you along with me here at Royans Farm Market. So I think it was 2 videos ago now, me and my dad were out cutting Christmas trees down for my mom to make wreaths and grave blankets out at the market. And a lot of you guys commented asking to show my mom making all those kind of things. So this afternoon, that's what I'm going to be working on. I've actually never done it myself, but my mom has been doing it for a long time and she's really good at it. So I'm going to be learning with you guys here today. So as I'm waiting for my mom to get here, I'll show you guys how we get started. If we're gonna make a big wreath, we'll start out with this bracket right here. If we're gonna make a smaller one, we have this, and then we have our candy canes right here. Now, if we're gonna do something like a grave blanket, I'm not sure where they're at, we'll start out with this bracket right here. To get started, obviously, we need to start with the trees. Now, my mom has been doing these for a couple days, so you can see this tree is almost completely bare. She's used almost everything that's good off of this tree besides a couple limbs up here yet. And then she started on this tree, right here, and we still have a little over a tree and a half to go yet. You can see we got some snow here, so that makes it a little more difficult, but if you give the limbs a little shake, that comes right off. So the first thing you want to do is get some nice greens off the trees. Now, why are you cutting them that size?
This is about the size that I need to make wreaths.
All right.
They can't be too short and they can't be too long.
Like 8 to 10 inches long. And obviously you want to have some nice color on them. You can get a lot off one tree.
Okay.
Okay, so once we get all the greens cut, should look something like this. We'll come to our wreath making table. It has this little pincher on it. Pinch that shut quick.
You need to step on it.
Yeah, right down there. When you step on that,
it pinches it.
It pinches these metal prongs here shut. You'll see after we get going here.
Okay, so what we have here is a candy cane. So you want to make a nice end. You don't want to stick out too far. You want to kind of fan it out so it looks nice and full. And I just keep stacking these on here until I get the desired fullness that I want. You're going to fill in all the little gaps. And these are a little too long. You just trim them. Okay, so you need it decently thick in here so that when it pinches, it's tight. You don't want that loose or your greens will fall out. So you gotta get enough in there to fill it up. Make it look full. Give you one more there. Okay, then you clamp it shut. If they hit, you just gotta... So see, now they're nice and tight. They're not gonna go anywhere.
And that's it.
Yep, and then you just continue to do that all the way around. So you make your next bunch. Again, some of these are a little bit too long. I gotta clip them off a little bit, because otherwise they get in the way of your next batch. And then it sticks up too high.
And like I said, this is what you're looking for right here, something like this.
This is in the Fraser family, greens. They're very nice greens to work with. They're soft. They don't fall.
Obviously this one's really long, so I'll have to cut that one down.
Just very nice. Well, or I'll use it for something else.
Yeah, for that.
Okay, so when I get down to the end, you just kind of want to even this off and make it look finished. And there you go, there's your candy cane. And then if you want, take a bow. These are my homemade bows. I make these at home. So it's a nice fluffy bow. And you just want to take the wire. Try to make things good and tight so when it's out in the wind and the snow, things don't blow off. I wrap that around quite a few times. Then you can either cut it off, or sometimes I just tuck the wire back underneath there. Puff your bow back out. And there's your candy cane.
So now that we're done with the candy cane, we're going to move on to a regular wreath. Now, cutting the greens for this is just a little bit different. We want to cut them a little bit longer, but not much longer. As you can see what she's cutting off there.
About the same, it's the same thing.
Or was it the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, will it take any more?
The smaller wreath, no, it'll take about the same. Now a bigger wreath probably will take a little bit more.
And as you can see, you get a lot off of one tree.
Well, these are big trees too.
Yeah, these are also really nice trees.
Okay, my hand's getting full.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the right size. I don't want them too small, I don't want them too big. If I get them too big, I'll just have to clip them down. Some of the bigger, bonier stuff I'll use for logs and for buckets that I do. So I have certain sizes of greens I want for certain things.
The two types of trees we're using are Nordman fir and Fraser fir. When putting this in here, you can kind of see between these two clamps there's a little indent so that wire will fit in there nice. Kind of like this, I'll show you here. Like there and there, and it'll rest there nice. And then once we're done making whatever it is that we're working on, we have all these decorations to use to make them even prettier. Pine cones and bows, flowers, berries.
Things are a little icy. It's a little cold, trying to get the snow off of them so my hands don't get wet.
So then you're just gonna cut these down.
Yep. Okay, so a wreath is pretty much the same thing as a candy cane. You kind of want to fan your greens out. You can bring them in a little bit, but if you bring them in too much, you're going to enclose this hole and it's not going to look like a wreath. You want to keep everything out. And again, you just want to fill them up so that they clamp tight. And then your wreath is nice and full also. And I just wanted to add, you need a good pair of clippers for these. Good and strong, because some of the branches are heavy. And sometimes it takes me two hands to...
You don't want it to look like somebody chewed it off.
Clip the... Yeah. And you want nice dark greens. You don't want them yellow or brown on the tips. The Fraser stays nice and green. They don't lose their needles, they don't change color. In February, they're still beautiful. I usually leave my stuff up till Valentine's Day.
Over on this side is kind of all just of our junk. It's either not very full or it's big and stemmy. We don't really let much go to waste. Like, who's gonna want that in their wreath? Actually, my cousin has goats and they love to eat these. The biggest thing is that when you're doing this, you want to make sure you're covering your clip from the previous one so that you don't see any metal showing.
See, so there's my clip.
When you're done with the wreath.
But, you know,
That's
my clamp.
Yeah, that's the one she just clamped shut. Just not focusing very well. There. Now, when she lays this next couple on,
cover that.
it's gonna cover that.
And then some.
Yeah, and then you'll never see it.
So you gotta get it, tuck it, pull that up. Tuck that in behind there. And make everything, trying to make it a smooth
transition,
yeah. So I can find what I cut here. So that it all looks like one.
One more?
I'm gonna put a couple more in here. Has to be a little fuller, thicker. One more piece. I think that should be about good. Just throw a little one in here. Okay. Clamp that. Kind of fluff it a little bit. And there you go. There's your wreath.
Wow.
So I grab another homemade bow. Just wrap it around. Kind of got to get it in and under so you're not squishing the greens. And pull it as tight as you can. And twist and twist.
Can't see what you're doing. Oh, it's just a little wire.
Yeah, I'm just taking those two wires and twisting them. Okay. You just fluff your bow. Alrighty, I could fiddle with bows all day. Okay, and there's your wreath.
Wow. Once our wreaths are done, this is what they look like. Some we leave plain, some we put a lot of decorations on. One of my favorite ones is like this right here, with some berries, pine cones, and then a bow. Then we have some just more basic ones with just a single bow on it. There's all sorts of decorations you can get. And people will sometimes request what they want to get put on them, and that's fine too. We'll do whatever. Something like this wreath right here, that's got 3 decorations and a bow, will cost $27. Something like this one, it's a little bit smaller, doesn't have any decorations on it besides a bow, will run $19. Now, right now we don't have many out here. They've been going pretty fast. It's just that time of year now, but that's where we're gonna make a lot. hopefully we can get a lot made for this weekend coming, because it's gonna start getting busier and busier with this stuff now. So because it's getting colder and late now, I think I'm gonna call it a wrap for this video. I still have logs, grave blankets, and swags to make, so make sure to stay tuned for part 2. This is only part 1. I just don't want to rush anything. I want to be able to show you guys step by step of how we do it and how it gets done. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. And always remember, it ain't much, but it's honest work.